Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're gonna show you just how easy it is to make some citrus herb garlic cream mussels in the comfort of your own home. All right guys, to make this dish, super easy, super simple, and you do not need a lot of ingredients, as you can see. We have a little bit of minced garlic. We have my favorite thin sliced prosciutto. You know I love this stuff. Fresh thyme, and of course, the star of the show, these mussels, straight from Prince Edward Island in Canada. Our neighbors up there to the north, check those guys out. So this is a mussel, right? So this is a bivalve. It lives on the coast of fresh and salt water. These, like I said, came straight from Prince Edward Island. Really great, really delicious seafood treat. Nice and black, long, cylindrical shape, and check that little guy out right there. That's its beard. And I think we're cousins because it's got a little bit of a red beard just like I do. But what they do with this beard is they hang on to either the rocks on the side of the coast, or in mussel farms, they'll hang on to the ropes that go down into the water. So they're grip on really, really tight. To clean these things, get them ready for us to eat, a couple different things we need to do. First, you're gonna wash them really well. Make sure you're using a cold water. So we have our nice colander, right? We don't want to be dropping them into a bucket of water because they will drown. So we're going to rinse them off really well. Make sure there's no sand or debris that comes off. Once they're rinsed, we're going to start peeling those beards off or pulling those beards off. So we're going to take that beard, and you can see it right there, and you just grab it firmly and kind of pop it right off. And then I'm going to tap on them. If they're not all the way closed, this one, as you can see, is nice and closed, nice and tight. If they're open just a little bit, I'm gonna give them a little tap either on the counter, you can tap them together like this, and they should close back up. If they close back up, they're still alive, they're still good to go. If they don't close up and they stay open, go ahead and toss those out because that means they are dead and they generate bacteria really quickly after they die, so I'm gonna get working on that. All right guys, so out of all of my mussels, I only found one of them that still wasn't alive, and I wanted to show you what I was looking at. First off, this shell has a little crack in it. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's got a little crack in it, so that's a good sign that this guy has already met his demise. The rest of these mussels are good to go, so they're gonna come right back here into my colander to clear up my board so I can get prepping our vegetables. First, we start with an onion. Next, a little fresh shallot. A little fresh thyme. Oh, I love this stuff. One of my favorite herbs to work with, and so easy to prep. Doesn't require any chopping. You just pinch and pull. Next, fresh washed Italian flat leaf parsley. Remember, pop those stems off because those parsley stems are bitter, so we're just gonna use the leaves. All right, so we have our onions, we have our shallots, we have our thyme, and our parsley. The last thing I wanna get prepped is this beautiful French bread. Because anytime you're making mussels, in my opinion, the best part of the entire dish is that broth that we're gonna make underneath, because you want some crusty bread to dip in that awesome, flavorful broth. So that's what we're gonna get started on now. I've got my oven set to 325. I'm gonna slice it up, drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil, maybe a little salt, maybe a little pepper, throw it in that oven, get it crispy, and ready for our dish. All right, so the bread is in the oven, the vegetables are prepped. You thought I forgot about this prosciutto, didn't you? You thought I forgot, but I did not forget. There's one thing I never forget. It's either bacon or prosciutto. You know what I'm talking about. So we've got my trusty cast iron, enamel coated cast iron pot here. You've seen me use it before. I love this thing. And you can start with oil or butter in the bottom of the pan to start the vegetables, to start the onions and shallots. For me though, I'm gonna start this prosciutto. So the prosciutto is gonna go in. It's gonna create its own kind of fat. As that fat renders down, the prosciutto is gonna crisp up, and it's gonna be a 2-for-1 kind of deal. We're gonna get the flavor in the fat, and we're gonna get some crispy prosciutto for the end. Sometimes the prosciutto needs a little help when it comes to the lubrication, so we are gonna add a little bit of olive oil here to the pan as well. All right, so as this prosciutto crisps up, there's gonna be a little bit of stuff that gets stuck to the bottom of the pan. That's okay, don't panic, all right? That's actually what we're looking for. All of that burnt on or caramelized, we don't like saying burnt. Let's say caramelized. Chefs, we don't burn anything, we caramelize stuff. Sometimes we over caramelize, maybe, but today we're just caramelizing. But you can see all that flavor that's kind of started in the foundation of that pan. That's awesome, keep it, that's what we're looking for. All right guys, so the prosciutto's been in there 4 or 5 minutes, whatever it takes, We're going to pull it out. We got our nice crispy prosciutto with that beautiful flavorful base already started there in our pan. Into our pan, We have our flavor already in there. Let's go our onions. In with the onions, in with the shallots. The acidity from the onions and the shallots will already start to pick up some of that fond in the bottom there. It's been just a couple of minutes. Our bread's been in at 350 with that olive oil drizzle. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, nice and crispy, a little crunchy there. Not over crunchy, but just right. You still want it to have a little bit of give underneath. So you still want it to be nice and crunchy on the top, but a little soft on the inside, because as it sits out, when it comes out of the oven, it will continue to crisp up a little bit. So keep that in mind. All right, so our onions and shallots getting nice and golden brown there. So we're gonna come in here with a little bit of our minced garlic. Go ahead and use the jarred stuff. That's what I'm gonna do. So a little bit of our minced garlic. But you know, burnt garlic can ruin a dish really, really fast. So we're gonna work really quickly now. We're gonna come right in on top with a nice white wine. Chardonnay works well. So we're just gonna hit that with a little Chardonnay there at the bottom. And that's the foundation. Why not? Let's get it all in there. That's the real foundation of our fond, or of our broth, of our broth that we're gonna make. The white wine is the foundation. So the acidity in the white wine is gonna actually start to, when it boils, it's gonna pull up all of those other caramelized flavors off the bottom of this pot. And that's what we want. So the white wine is already nice and golden brown. It's already picked up all of those flavors. All right, so now that we have our white wine in the pot, it's been boiling, it's bringing up all those flavors. Now we're gonna add our fresh herbs. We have our thyme and our parsley that we chopped up earlier. That's going right in the pot. I'm also gonna add 1 bay leaf, a little bit of red pepper. I like it a little spicy. I don't know about you, but I like a little spice. You know, I'm kind of a spice sis, but in this dish, the little heat kind of lightens it up a little bit. Heavy cream can get heavy. It's in the name. But if you add a little bit of spice to it, it kind of lifts it up off the palate. So we're gonna add a little bit of crushed red pepper, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. Keep in mind, this is gonna reduce, so we don't wanna over salt it right now. Hashtag ABT, you know, we can always be tasting. So we want to not over season it right now. We can play with it as we go. And then this is a little citrus blend that I like. So a lot of flavor going into this little pot. All right, guys, so that white wine has been boiling down. The white wine, the shallots, the garlic, the onions. Now we've got our thyme and our parsley in there with our seasonings. It is smelling right here in the kitchen. Let's add our next layer, and that's heavy cream. I told you, citrus herb, garlic, lemon cream, right? So let's add the cream. Into the pot goes a little bit of heavy cream. And as we stir this up, it's gonna also come to a boil, and it's gonna start to thicken up. All right, guys, so the heavy cream is in here. It's been working for a couple of minutes now. It's really combined with the wine and the shallots and the garlic and the fresh herbs. Let's give it one more taste before we go. It has also thickened up a little bit. Now remember, we had a lot of wine in there, so it's not gonna really thicken up like a traditional heavy cream would because of all the excess wine. So don't look for it to be as thick as a typical heavy cream sauce that you've seen us make together before. Let's give it a taste. Not quite there yet, but we're well on our way. So in here, let's go ahead and drop our mussels in. All right, guys, so the mussels are gonna go in right now into this pot of flavor. We're gonna give them a little bit of a stir, get them into that swimming pool of love, throw that top on, and let them work just for a couple of minutes. All right, they're gonna open up. It does not take long, just a couple of minutes. Once they open up, I'm gonna let them still steep in that broth for another couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, to really let them soak up. All right, they're actually gonna kind of get a little wrinkly like your fingertips do when you're in the bath or a pool very long. That's what the mussels will start to look like. All right, and once we see those little wrinkles, we know that they've absorbed all that great flavor and they're ready to go into our pot. All right, guys, so the mussels are in the pot, really close to finishing. Don't forget about the prosciutto we had earlier. We had that paper towel there to just catch any excess grease that comes off, and this prosciutto is all crisp, ready to go. All right, guys, so our mussels are ready. Our bread is crispy. Our prosciutto is chopped. Last but not least, we need to throw our citrus in. Always remember, we're using our citrus at the very end to make sure we're getting as much of that fresh citrus flavor as we possibly can. All right, so this is going in. Lots of lemon. We love our lemon on our mussels. Really great, fresh flavor. Here we go with one. That's one lemon. I didn't get a whole lot of juice, so I'm gonna add one more off the stove. Over here, grab our bowl. I like to use a really big bowl. All right, so we have our mussels going in. Look at these mussels, beautiful, opened up. Look at all the flavor that's attached inside of those bad boys. Look at them, they're just dripping with flavor and goodness. Mussels going in. Don't worry, we did not forget about this juice. Let's get some more of that. We'll use a ladle this time. We'll take some of our crusty bread and we'll just, oh, did you hear that? Listen to the sound. The crusty bread just slides right in. We're gonna top it with a little bit more of our fresh parsley. Little fresh parsley, a little bit of our crispy prosciutto. Oh man. And then last but not least, a fresh squeeze of that lemon right over the top. And there you go. Citrus, herb, garlic, cream, mussels. All right guys, I cannot wait to dig into these mussels. Look at all the flavor there. I mean, you know what I say, if it looks like it has flavor, it probably does. And this definitely looks like it has flavor. And I can't wait to find out myself. Beautiful mussel. You see it's got a little bit of a wrinkle there, but still super tender. It's gonna pop right out of this shell. Here we go. Oh boy, enjoy. That is so good. The sweetness of the mussel, the tang from the white wine and the shallots and the garlic, and that crunch and the smokiness from the prosciutto at the end. But the best part is this crunchy bread right in that broth. Here we go. Guys, it is so good and so easy to recreate there at your own house. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and join us next week here on The Hook, where we explore the places, faces, and tales of your Myrtle Beach seafood, one delicious bite at a time. See you then.
Beach easy.